Here is another zombie killing survival game in an already saturated genre, except they've added extraction. And that's all what this game is. Or is it? Welcome, I'm Spinosaurus Rex. Today we are going to be discussing Maple Story Classic. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. Please don't leave. We are going to be discussing this new game called Nakwon, Last Paradise. It just had its first closed alpha test, and I was one of the lucky few to get admitted. To be quite honest, I thought this was a beta test, and from the get-go until I started making this video, did I find out that it was an alpha test. I had no preconceived notions about this, nor did I know anything about this game. I just like going around asking permission to play people's games for free. At first glance, this does seem just like another generic zombie game trying to run off the high of the extraction genre. But I realized what they were trying to accomplish after just one game. Nakwon is the last place, or at least the last place in Korea, that you can live without worrying about infected and other people. Nothing is given as to how it all started. All that matters now is surviving. In the opening cutscene, you are a struggling woman having nothing else. She tries to make it to Nakwon. This is where our tutorial starts. It gives you all the basics through the area, such as looting and using keys to open doors, which is where all the valuable loot is going to be. Next is combat, as well as sneaking and using different weapons you have looted. Ooh. They also show that there is destructible environments. And one important aspect that you will always be using for various tactics are these throwable objects. Here, they purposely shoot the living crap out of you. What the fuck? What the hell? Which at first I was very confused at what just happened. But here, they're showing you what happens when you fall. You go into last stand. You can't attack or run, but you can still use throwables and you can still extract. I definitely enjoyed how they integrated this tutorial with the story and gave you a hands-on approach to the basics of the game rather than hand-holding and telling you every little specific thing, even though this game still does that in some parts. Best way to show any player what to expect and how this game plays is to just throw them in the game right out the gate. Simple and straightforward. As you see that the character you just played died, there was one survivor, and this is the new you. With that, we jump into character creation. It's bare minimum, and all you can be is Korean, which makes sense because this does take place in Korea. Now that we've made it into Nakwon, we are this guy's bitch for the foreseeable future. We are to obey what we are told, and this little 10x5 shipping container is our new home. They give us a shitty 2010 iPad, and this is how we're going to manage all our quests, notices, friends, map, and more. After grabbing our first quest and doing a quick lap around our new jail house, your base is minimal. A shipping container with basic crafting and a dresser full of skins they'll eventually sell to you. When you head out on your first expedition, they show you the map, your starting point, exit points, and where some high value loot is likely to spawn. You also have two different extract options, your main exit and a personal extract that only you can use. Keep those in mind because they matter later. My first raid is what showed me what this game is trying to do. I wasn't sure what to expect, but just like any stupid main character in a zombie movie, I thought I had killed my first zombie. The combat itself isn't bad, but it does feel clunky. It does help that it feels like there is weight to my weapon. The zombies feel like an actual threat rather than annoying enemies or trash mobs to kill as you loot around. I soon find out that just fighting 2 zombies is a problem, but 3 or 4 of them is much worse. This forced me into the building seeking shelter, which quickly turned into a horror movie once again. Oh dude, what the fuck? Oh my god! This whole sequence made me rethink my expectations of what I was expecting from this game. Its pace is slower, the fights are a little bit longer, the world holds real threat. This kept me engaged and immersed. Touching back on the combat, sure it's clunky, but it's still early. I hope they can refine and better adjust it. I trust that they got a lot of feedback to work on as well. They also have several abilities available, but you can only have 2 at a time. They all do different things, from an echo locator to a harpoon that attaches to buildings that you can climb. I thought this was great and allows the players to form different playstyles. As I kept playing raid after raid, I enjoyed it and had fun. Even my interactions with other players were funny.
Nice skirt, bro.
Oh, hey, guy. No, I'm friendly.
And they were just wandering around, exploring the map. The social interactions with other players reminded me of Arc Raiders. Running into someone never felt immediately dangerous, just cautious. The risk of engaging rarely outweighed the reward of leaving them alone. And when it came to combat and traversal, the weight and feel of it lands closer to The Last of Us than anything else in the extraction genre. One problem I encountered was later in the quest lines. A doctor, for some reason, tells you to start killing people, as in other players. That was one of the things I disliked personally. I dislike when games force me to do PvP unless I choose to. I want to be able to decide whether I want to engage with it, or at least let the PvP happen naturally between player interactions. Performance-wise, I only crashed once during a raid, and I was able to reconnect and get out of that. I also have to say that the raids always felt manageable and survivable. The thing that killed me more often than not was being greedy or overstaying because I wanted to loot everything. There's another mechanic that I did not fully grasp until several deaths later, which is infection. Infection only affects you in raid, and it has a different timer. This was one of my main frustrations. When the infection timer runs out, your infection level increases until you hit 100%, meaning you die and turn into a zombie or something along those lines. The thing is, at least during my time playing, there wasn't a way to pause, decrease, or heal that infection in raid, which was annoying, but what was frustrating was the fact that you had 3 timers to keep track of. The main one is your main exit. Second is your personal extract that only you can leave from, which I never used. And then the third is the infection timer. These were irrelevant to me, except the main timer for my main extract. All of these timers felt convoluted and annoying. The point is to loot, and the more time I spent in raid meant more time to loot, which meant better loot. At least that's how I enjoy playing these extraction games, especially with Tarkov, Arc Raiders, Arena Breakout Infinite. I will stay for as long as I need to get the best out of it. Despite its rough edges and some design decisions I disagreed with, I kept coming back for one more raid. And for an alpha, that's saying a lot. If you're into extraction games and don't mind some zombie survival thrown in, add it to your wishlist on Steam. It's not ready yet at all, but it has something worth keeping an eye on. With all that said, thanks for watching. See you around.